Hey there. It's another beautiful day. Let's watch some stuff.
You've probably heard of the line, but did you know about Magna, the other wild project in Saudi Arabia? Magna is supposed to be the next big thing in luxury living, a 120-kilometer stretch of pure opulence along the Gulf of Aqaba. They're talking 15 luxury hotels, 2,500 residences, even a Blade Runner-style golf resort. Sounds impressive, right? But let's not get too excited just yet. Remember how the line was supposed to redefine urban living, but now they're struggling to build even a tiny fraction of it? Yeah. Now imagine trying to pull off something just as crazy, but along 120 kilometers of coastline. We're talking about the same team, the same over-the-top vision, and probably the same harsh realities. Will Magna actually see the light of day, or are we looking at another ambitious project that's more dream than reality?
I feel like there might be something fishy going on there. Something along the lines of, like stealing from investors, they got all these wild dreams, but are they coming through? No, they're not.
Watch Kamala Harris absolutely destroy herself and highlight all the things that she has done to this economy during the Biden-Harris administration. Check this out.
Everyday prices are too high. It feels so hard to just be able to get ahead. The bills add up. Food, rent, gas, back to school clothes, prescription medication, the cost of food. A loaf of bread costs 50% more. Ground beef is up almost 50%. There's a serious housing shortage. The price of housing has gone up. It's too difficult to build, and it's driving prices up. It is out of reach. The size of down payments have gone up as well. Costs are still too high. There's not much left at the end of the month, and prices are still too high.
There you guys have it. Straight from her mouth, she is admitting what this administration has done for the last 3.5 years. You guys really want 4 more years of this? Because 4 more years of this in America will be absolutely destroyed.
What infuriates me the most is that there's still time to do something about it. Hello?
This place is a phone farm in Vietnam. Why they have so many phones? What do they even do with them? They call it a box phone because they stash a bunch of phones in a box. But these aren't your everyday phones. To cut costs and keep things cool, they strip out the batteries and screens. They use these phones to boost likes or fake followers on social media. They also log into games to farm items and sell game accounts. Look at the employees working hard, and behind them, it's just phones everywhere. And it doesn't stop there. They can pack up these box phones and sell them overseas.
These people are everywhere, all over social media. Like, I didn't have social media for like 10 years before I started this channel, and now I have one of everything. And on Facebook, I joined some groups that were like YouTube oriented, thinking maybe I can get some pointers or I can get some, some ideas. And every time you post anything on there, you get a bunch of people that are like, hey, give me money, I'm going to make you famous. And then you see these people later, they're like, oh, I have, 15, 20,000 subscribers, but they're getting 5 or 6 views per day because they paid for their subscribers. And I'd rather have I get like between 40 and 60 views a day. And I am totally happy with that because y'all enjoy it. And that's the big part is having people that enjoy the same thing that you enjoy, not just a whole bunch of, empty subscribers.
The Atlantic is cooling at a mysteriously fast rate after record warmth. It says the sudden shift in water temperature is puzzling scientists, and this is from Gizmodo. It says for over a year, surface temperatures in the Atlantic Ocean hit new highs, but that trend has reversed at record speed over the past few months, and nobody knows why. Does it have anything to do with this? I mean, remember these giant anomalies going through our oceans earlier throughout the year? Look at this. I wonder if this has anything to do with the waters now cooling off. Because you think about it, our waters have been hot, like record heat. And they were predicting crazy hurricanes, right? But going on, it's a couple of days from September, and it's been quiet. Look at this. Now, we were thinking that maybe this is responsible for the heat. I wonder if these crazy blobs now are responsible for the cooling. I mean, hey, we have no way to know because Ventusky actually removed the wave model from the app. So now we can no longer see these anomalies anymore. Now, obviously, if you don't know, these anomalies generate from the area of Bouvet Island, but I'm sure you've all heard of that. This is why they constantly come off this one part and they travel up into the Atlantic. And it's so crazy because while the Atlantic may be cooler, the Gulf of Mexico is hot. Like record heat. So the Atlantic may be cool, but not the Gulf. The Gulf is beyond bathtub heat right now. But hey, I'm just observing. They claim they don't know what's causing this record cool down in the Atlantic. Hey, it is what it is. But you guys leave a like in the comments. Let me know what y'all think. Peace.
I remember there being a whole lot of speculation around those blobs. And I'm not a meteorologist or a weatherologist or a whatever the heck it is, ologist. I just know that the speculations about those blobs is well outside of my wheelhouse. But there was extremely high water temperatures in this El Nino weather pattern, and now the oceans are cooling at a super fast rate. I wonder what that means.
Were Ted Bundy and JFK part of the Illuminati? When I saw names like these come up as one of the 13 bloodlines, I had to look into it. It is believed the Illuminati have their hooks into every business, politician, and entertainer out there. But at the top, just under Satan and the fallen angels, are the 13 bloodlines who control the cabal. Names like Bundy, and though he is a direct descendant, it is not believed Ted Bundy was part of the Illuminati. Many believe that since he carries the name, the Illuminati had something to do with the murders. See, the 13 love when their name rings throughout history, so they'll cause traumatic events. Ted was even quoted as saying, he doesn't like to do what he does. But before he does it, a dark force takes him over and he blacks out. Theorists believe they use mind control to make him commit these crimes. In JFK's assassination, yeah, check part 2.
Maybe Ted Bundy is the one that went rogue, right? They're supposed to be evil. I mean, I don't know how the Kennedys are necessarily evil, but, to each his own. But maybe Bundy just kind of had too much of the evil in him and just went all berserk or something.
This is a floating octagon-shaped industrial city that will cost over $500 billion to build. It's called Oxagon, and it's another mind-blowing part of the NEOM project. They're promising cutting-edge tech, fully renewable energy, and even AI-powered logistics hubs, all of it floating in the Red Sea, near Saudi Arabia's northwest coast. Sounds like the future, right? But building a massive floating city isn't exactly easy. We're talking about huge technical challenges, enormous costs, and the need to attract industries to a pretty remote location. So, will Oxagon be a game changer or just another overambitious project?
Yeah, it sounds like another money grab.
Scientists now think humans are actually the aliens. There's a theory that Mars is the place where human life originally started. This is because the rover on Mars has been picking up a lot of an element called xenon all over the surface. What's scary about this is that xenon is the same element that started being discovered around Hiroshima and Nagasaki, as well as nuclear bomb testing sites. And this element has never been found anywhere where there hasn't been a nuclear explosion. This has led many to believe that humans had a nuclear war on Mars that absolutely decimated the planet and made it uninhabitable for humans, and only a select few of the powerful families made their way to Earth. To do this, the Mars civilization would have had to be extremely advanced, which might explain why we see such unexplainable architecture from our past, like the pyramids. Maybe these people tried to hide these advancements with the hopes we would never get to a point of nuclear war again. But human nature and greed brought us right back to the point of destruction once again.
I absolutely love that theory. I love it. I think it's super fantastic. I know we've talked about it several times, how, the potential for our species to have originated on Mars or even on another planet. And I think I don't know, why not? I think it's fantastic.
This guy named Jim Barfield has somehow figured out where all of King Solomon's treasures are, including the Ark of the Covenant.
Money.
Dude. Mm-hmm.
So when they found the Dead Sea Scrolls, there was this copper scroll, and forever they didn't really know what it meant. And he was a investigator for the fire department. Like, so he's like, I kind of want to give this a shot. And he literally figured it out in like 15 minutes. He's like, this is not a piece of literature. He says it's literally like a treasure map.
Dude, someone call Nicolas Cage right now.
But what's crazy is he's just like looked at it from just like an investigative point of view. And he's like, oh, this is what it's saying. It's here, 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 and here. And then when he went to these people, like these archaeologists, they're like, you're an idiot. And then he went to this one rabbi. You have no idea what you're talking about. And he's like, can I show you? And showed him. The rabbi was like, and he stood up, grabbed his face and kissed him on each cheek and says, you have no idea what this means.
I have no idea what that means. I really don't. I didn't know that we were going to get hung out to dry there, so I'm sorry. As far as the Ark of the Covenant is concerned, I've seen all of the Indiana Jones movies. Crystal Skulls sucks. And for the Ark of the Covenant, it's supposedly being guarded by top men. Other than that, I got nothing. If you know what it's supposed to mean, or if you have an idea of what it might mean, let me know.
They want to stay here. They don't want to go anywhere else. This consciousness wants to stay here, stay in this body, never get older, continually experience the highest of high experiences, and go on. You don't get a full life review. Everything is wrong with this whole system setup. You're supposed to have a life review. The way that they've perverted it and inverted it, they've set up a system where they'll throw us through a machine, traps, stores the soul, erases the memory completely, and then throws you back into basically the same situation you just came from again with the same people, just with different clothes. You move in circles with the same people.
But some souls, pretty much advanced in the
can bypass and leave,
can progress in the next life. Mm-hmm. So it means this doesn't work perfectly.
Nothing they do works perfectly. That's why they're losing control now. There's volunteer consciousness down here at the moment, and I would class myself and yourself volunteer consciousness. Specifically came down here to try and change the paradigm, to try and get this information out so that we can not have to be living like this and not having to repeat the same cycles over and over and over again.
I'm pretty sure he was talking about some kind of reincarnation. I don't understand too much about reincarnation, but that did sound like a terrifying cycle. That's something that I don't necessarily want to do, keep coming back and doing the same thing over and over again. I guess we wouldn't know if we actually were, because they strip all the memories away and then plunk you back right down and you do it again. Gosh, that sucks.
Is the world missing an eighth continent? During the mid-1800s, biologists were puzzled when they found similar flora and fauna in both India and Madagascar. This brought many questions, considering that these two places weren't connected at all. Furthermore, the evidence they found were specific to these two countries and weren't found in any of the surrounding countries. Later studies by a man named Ernst Haeckel showed that a 3-billion-year-old mineral called zircon was also found on these countries that were only 2 million years old, indicating that the mineral must have come from a sunken landmass in the Indian Ocean. Thus, the lost continent of Lemuria was born. Well, this is still a hypothesis, but if we look at ancient Tamil history, it is written that their ancestors came from a place called Kamari Kadam, which on ancient maps was conveniently located where the hypothesized Lemuria is. So,
if you've been here for a while, you know how much I like to talk about the world's reset, right? When the poles shift and then the crust gets all loose and things get all jumbly up and then the poles are here now. Well, not the poles, but the pole land masses are at the sides now spinning around. So everything just gets all cattywampus. There's like ocean floods. It's crazy. It's the whole Adam and Eve story. I love it. It's I always say go check out the Y Files and watch AJ and Hecklefish talk about it. It's fantastic. It's the CIA knows about the end of the world, something like that, right? It's great. But that's what I think happened, and that's why Lemuria is gone. And there was also another one in the Pacific called Mu. And that one connected all the islands, supposedly. It's a super fantastic story. AJ tells you about it. Go watch him.
It was sort of like this paranormal shopping list. It gets to the point where you list all of it and it just sounds ridiculous. Well, Colin Kelleher and I were writing the book. We had to make some really tough choices about the kinds of things that we could leave in and leave out, because, man, there was a couple of them. We figured if I put this story in, nobody's going to believe it. And I'll tell you what one of those stories is. The Bureau of Indian Affairs, the Native American police had told us this thing, that they had seen this coming around a bend. They're on patrol duty in the area around the ranch. They come down this dirt road one night, and they see two figures, humanoid-looking figures, standing up with their backs to the road, and looked like they were smoking cigarettes. They had trench coats on. Smoking cigarettes, standing out on the road. These guys figure, what are these fellas up to? So they're pulling up, and they go shining their lights on the guys, and they turn around, and they were dogs. They're dogs smoking cigarettes. I know,
right? Dogs. I was expecting aliens too. I thought that was silly, so I just wanted to throw it in there. Dog smoking. Not aliens, unfortunately. Darn. That's going to be it for me today. Thank you so much for sharing your time with me. Come on back tomorrow. We're going to watch some new stuff. I'll say different things. It's going to be fantastic. Until then, have a wonderful day.